Hi YouTube family, happy Saturday. Today I'm going to be sharing a recipe for bake and saltfish. It is a popular Guyanese breakfast and very popular in the Caribbean as well. So today I'm going to change it up a little because I have many bake and saltfish recipe, but this one is going to be a little different. Who doesn't like bake and saltfish for breakfast or even for lunch? I can only do this on the weekend. Let's get into the kitchen and prepare a delicious bake and saltfish for breakfast today. Today I'm going to be using some cod, and this is cod fillet. So if you look at it, it's very salty. So I'm gonna rinse out most of the salt that we can see from the top of the fish. This process was done overnight. I like to soak the saltfish overnight if I know that I'm cooking it the next day, because it helps to remove most of the salt and it's easy for cooking the next day. I'm gonna be boiling it until we get out almost all of the salt from the fish. You can also soak it for a few hours and cook it the same day, but I find if you are prepared and you know from the day before, it's easier to soak it overnight and you don't have to worry about too much salt content the next day. While my salted fish is boiling on the stove, I'm gonna start kneading my dough for the bake. Here I have my all-purpose flour. I have 1 pinch of salt, and when I say 1 pinch, I mean 1 pinch. I have some baking powder, some yeast, sugar, extra flour to knead the dough, and some butter. I have room temperature water. I'm gonna put all these ingredients together. You can add some additional ingredients if you want to flavor up the bake, but today, because I'm gonna flavor up my salted fish well, I'm not gonna add any other seasoning to the bake. I will leave all the measurements and ingredients I'm using today in the description box below. So let's get down to the dough now. In the flour, I'm gonna add my baking powder. And I'm gonna go in with my yeast, and today I'm not activating the yeast, I'm just adding it to the flour. I'm gonna go in with my sugar, and this will add some sweetness to the bake and give a nice finish as well. And then we're gonna go in with our little tiny pinch of salt, just to balance off everything. And I'm gonna add my butter at this point. And we're gonna mix in the butter into the flour. I'm gonna go in with my hands and get that all mixed in. That I mix all the ingredients into the flour, I'm gonna knead the dough with my water, little by little, so I'm not adding too much water. What I love about our Guyanese culture, there are so many things that you can have for breakfast. It's not small selection, and you can't be bored with breakfast ideas and recipes because we have so many options. So my dough is perfectly kneaded, nice and soft and firm. I'm gonna show you how I'm doing the bake today. I'm doing the rail bake style. I'm not frying these bakes. I'm gonna put them into the oven and cook them. I wanna show you that you can still enjoy bake and not having to stand up and fry one by one. Fried bake are very delicious, but if you're in a rush, this is another quick way of doing it. Let me get my rolling pin and I'm going to show you how to bake them instead of fry them if you have a little bit of time. So now we're going to roll this off in a nice thickness. And we're going to try to keep it on the square side. You can do this round or any shape that you want. But I'm using a rectangular baking dish, so I want to keep it to a nice shape. Make sure that it can fit in your baking dish. I also have a recipe on my channel for baked pancake instead of flipping one by one on your stove. If you have less time, these are simple ways that can make your cooking way easier and less time consuming. So let me just even out this here. So in the baking dish that I'm using, I'm just brushing the bottom with some oil. You can use butter, whatever you have handy, just to avoid any sticking. And then I'm gonna take my dough and put it right in here, like that. And I just wanna spread it out a little to make sure that we're covering the bottom of the dish. Look how beautiful this is. And then you can just take a fork, give it some nice press on the top so it don't swell too much and burst. Just like this, we're gonna just do that. It gives a nice design, and plus it's preventing your bake from popping up and burst. Let me see here, just like that. And we're gonna pop this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes or until nice and brown on the top. And these are gonna be ready soon. So for my salted fish, I'm gonna use these ingredients here today. I have green onion, maribori pepper for flavor. I'm gonna grate 1 garlic into the fish, the salted fish. I have lots of cilantro, onion, tomato, and some lime juice. I'm gonna chop all these up and I'll come right back to prepare the salted fish. To put our salted fish together, I just added my onions to the oil. I'm gonna cook the onion for about 1.5 minutes or so before I add the next ingredient. I just added my maribori pepper and I'm gonna go in with the fish at the moment. I'm gonna go in with my grated garlic. And the garlic will add really nice flavor to it. I like to grate the garlic so I'm not biting into the garlic when I'm eating my salted fish. I'm gonna go in with my tomatoes. And I'm using a frozen tomato because I like how easily the frozen tomato will break down into the salted fish and give it a nice color, and the tomato will easily get soft and help to cook our salted fish. I'm gonna go in with my green onions. And we're gonna cook this until the tomatoes are nice and soft before I add my lime juice and my cilantro. So my salted fish is cooking nice and juicy with that frozen tomato. That's what I like. I'm gonna add my lime juice now. Lemon juice can work as well. I'm just adding half of it. And this will add a nice flavor to the fish and cut away any fishy taste or rankness. I'm gonna give this a mix. And then I'm gonna add my cilantro into the pot. I like to add it right to the end. I'm gonna give this a mix. And look how beautiful and juicy the salted fish is. I'm gonna check on the bake and then we'll serve up breakfast very soon. So my bake is nice and done. When I have this brownness on the top, that's when I take mine off. I'm gonna brush it with some butter. And then I will give it a few minutes to rest before I cut open the bake. So my bake is done and look how beautiful it is, like a bread inside, and that's what I love because I'm gonna slice it here and then add my salted fish in the middle. You can make it thicker than this if you like, but you can put it in a smaller pan to get it thicker. I don't go thicker than this because then one little piece fill you up so much. So I'm gonna cut them back into squares. It is very hot right now. And then again, and then one more time. And I'll show you how I prepare one of the bakes. So this is my bake, the real baked. I'm gonna cut it like this. I'm gonna prepare one for Natalie because she liked the end part. Look how that is cooked perfectly well. And then I'm gonna go in with the salted fish in the bake. Let's rest it in a plate right over here. And then you just wanna pack your salted fish in there. Cover it back like that. And dive right into it. Look how beautiful that is. When I went to Tobago many years ago, I had bake like this. And I just fell in love with it because I like the texture. It wasn't fried and it was different, more like a bread texture. And I really enjoyed it. And ever since then, I've been like making it when I don't have enough time to fry bake. And it is a beautiful, beautiful, delicious way, especially if you're trying to keep away from a lot of fried food. Before I do the taste test, I have a birthday shout out. Birthday greetings are going out to Nalicia from your loving husband Darrell Sabir and your son Joshua, also the YouTube family. Enjoy! Here it is, guys, my beautiful island breakfast. Bake cook a little bit different this time. I'm gonna dive in and let you know how this tastes. Cheers! I have a piece of pepper right at the end here. I'm drooling. The first mouthful goes to you guys. So it tastes and feels like a bread. It have a crust on the outside, a sweetness to it because of the sugar, and really nice and fluffy in the inside. The salted fish, oh my goodness. Maybe Matthew can answer that question for you guys.
Yeah, it tastes really seasoned.
It's so nicely seasoned. That lime and the cilantro really hype it up to a different level. And it's so juicy with that frozen tomatoes. This is a breakfast, reminds me right back to Guyana. So I'm going to take another bite and I want to say to you guys, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing soon. Until then, stay blessed, stay safe. Bye for now.